What's up, you heathens and demons, you sinners and saints? Let me get the screen right. Here we go. There we are. All right, let me turn on my camera. What's up, you sinners and saints? Welcome back to the Rage. John, you're gonna start it off, and I'm just so used to starting it off. So
right, yeah. I wondered there for a second, but I didn't start speaking right away, so you had to fill the air. Hey, welcome here to the Rage. We're here tonight for a conversation between Nakasuchi and John Maddox, Logical, Plausible, Probable, which that is the name of his YouTube channel. Logical, Plausible, Probable. We will get his link into the video description here when we get done, and go over and check his channel out. Scott is here tonight with me. I'm an atheist. Scott is a Christian. Knock is an atheist. John Maddox is a Christian. And myself and Scott are here as moderators. Okay, the other two folks are going to have a conversation, and I didn't want to come on and moderate and just be an atheist here because it's been a little contentious between these two fellas. But hopefully we can have a reasonable conversation on different issues tonight, and that's why me and Scott are here to try and keep it at a reasonable keel. So as I said. Our channel owner, Nakasuchi, is here, the Raging Atheist. We're also joined by his fellow interlocutor tonight, John Maddox. John is a serial entrepreneur. He's had many different businesses, has many different businesses. He's also started dipping his toe into the apologetics world. And as I said, go over and check out his channel. He has many videos over there that you would find interesting. Welcome, John.
Should make for some interesting conversation, I'm sure.
Yep. And
I'm looking forward to it.
And then I am joined tonight also by my fellow moderator, Scott Paith. He is a professor of religious studies at DePaul University. He's also an author, and he's been, done a few streams with us here. And we will get all of his information in the video description as well. And I urge you to go and check his books out. And Scott, you do have a YouTube channel as well, correct?
Not really. No, I've got a blog and
That's right.
on Twitter. I keep thinking I'm going to try to start up a YouTube channel or something like that. And then life keeps intervening. But eventually I'll have something up, and then you can link to that.
Okay, yeah, and I remember now you mentioning the blog the other times you've been here. We'll get those links in the description, as I said. And so, like I said, me and Scott are here just as moderators. Hopefully that won't, need to take place. I think these two gentlemen can have a reasonable conversation. They're not going to agree on much. I know that right up front. But if things, do get out of hand, and Nakasuchi will admit and has admitted many times on live streams that he himself needs moderation at times. So the only, thing that we'll step in for, as Scott was saying before, is if they get talking over one another, we want John Maddox here to have a chance to talk. and maybe Scott or myself might have to step in to kind of reframe things, if you guys get talking past one another. But at any rate, I'm just going to throw it over to you, Knock, and then you just go ahead and, get this ball rolling and see where we go from there. And me and Scott will dip in if we need to.
Cool. Yeah, I appreciate it. First, I want to give you credit for showing up. A lot more balls than your boy. You're actually not afraid to have a conversation. I respect that. So I give you props for coming here to my place. And no matter the outcome of this conversation, I'll guarantee you that since you came here, I'll come to yours. So if you want me to come to yours and have a follow-up conversation, I'm more than willing to do so. Your rules on your home. I've tried to be really fair. I had a hard time getting a moderator that was a Christian as well. Mainly, I wanted to do this just to show Smokey that he would have a fair chance here. That I'm going to make sure that there's moderation and he would have his chance to bring his allegations to me. We can hash them out, and then we can go on.
To be blunt, dude, I'm not here to talk about Smokey.
Well, that's what I'm here to talk about, because that's what our issue is.
No. My issue is that you were talking trash about me specifically. I came to your stream. I said, let's talk, as you were talking trash about me. Now, and that was what was discussed. Now I'm here, and now you want to make this about somebody else.
Well, no.
So this
I'm
was
getting the overall.
I was never coming here to talk about somebody else.
Why I started talking?
So I mean, do I have to have big balls to come and talk about somebody else, or am I here to talk about?
You're here to talk to me.
stuff?
So let me talk. Let me speak. All right. This isn't your fucking place, so I will fucking speak.
Man,
right?
Dude, what's up, bro?
So you started insulting me with your boy Smokey Saint. Before
I started insulting you, or you were insulting me.
John,
I'm pretty sure you've been insulting me.
Hold on.
John.
John, both of you, hold on for a second. All right. Look, yeah, he's here to talk to you and to talk about some specific issues that he disagrees with you on, John. But the reason that he brought up Smokey is because the whole disagreement between you and Knock came out of your co-signing of Smokey's behavior. Okay, I mean, I don't understand. You're not here to talk about him.
So actually, I allowed this guy to come on my channel, let the two of them hash it out and yell at each other for like 15 minutes. And then it was an open mic night for after show. And I allowed the two of them to go at it before ending it and moving on to let the other like zillion people that we're trying to discuss to get on actually have something to say. So to act like I somehow was doing something is ridiculous. Okay, and I will finish the sentence.
Yeah.
Bro, you were talking mad trash about me in live chats during debates well before any of this other stuff happened. Then again, your live stream after my debate, my tag team debate, when I came over, you were specifically talking trash about me and my position on abortion.
Right.
I started chatting with you. Hang on. Let me finish the sentence and I'll shut up.
Hold on. No, wait a minute. Stop. Just for one second.
Can I jump in?
That's exactly what he wants to talk to you about tonight. He wants to talk to you about the Old Testament and about his disagreements with you on the abortion issue. Go ahead, Scott.
So I'm just thinking about what would be a helpful way of proceeding, because it seems to me that this could be a conversation where there's a lot of people talking over one another. And clearly, we don't even have an agreement at this point about sort of what the conversation is about. And I'm coming in this completely ignorant of the underlying conflict. So my suggestion is this. If Nakasuchi can, just sort of take a few minutes to sort of lay out what his perception of it is, then
well, I'm just gonna be blunt.
Oh yeah,
I'm not here to discuss Smokey Saint. That is between the two of them. If two grown men want to talk about their issues, they can have a conversation about their issues.
Hey, John, let Scott finish what he was saying. Okay,
don't make me
talking over one another. We can't, it doesn't translate to the audience. When two people start talking on live stream, as you know from doing streams yourself, it just comes out as a garbled mess on the other side. So just let Scott finish what he was saying as far as like to keep control of this.
I've got to get up at 4:30 tomorrow, so let's talk faster and get to the point.
Okay. Well, it's incredibly unhelpful if we're all talking over one.
Yeah, can I even finish my like opening on why we're here? I mean,
so again, if Nakasuchi can just sort of take a few minutes to sort of lay out his perspective, and you can like take it any direction you want after that, and then hopefully we can circle around to.
All right. Okay. If the moderators be quiet, I will shut up. Go ahead, Rage.
All right. So I'm definitely here to have a conversation about the Old Testament and abortion, which are the issues that we've had. Now, you mentioned that I talked a lot of shit about you in debates pre-Smokey. I don't think that that's true. I do go into modern day debates sometimes, and I do troll sometimes. So yeah, I probably said some things. But this stems from the fact that Smokey Saint trolled me, started shit with me, and then you got involved. And you can try to deny that all you want. You can try to say that, oh, you came into this stream and I was attacking you, and I was attacking you. And I showed earlier in that stream, maybe you didn't catch it, the screenshots of you calling me Ronnie the retarded, the raging retard, or whatever it was that you called me. So don't sit here and pretend like you're innocent. We're here to talk Old Testament. You accused me of being an anti-Semite with your boy Smokey. I gave you props for having more balls than Smokey, but let's address those issues. Let's talk about the Old Testament. Let's talk about abortion. That's what I'm here to talk about. I'm not here to talk about Smokey Saint. I was just trying to lay out how we got here. And you wanted to jump all over me. I don't give a fuck about Inky Tank. He's Icky Tank. He doesn't matter. Neither do you. But I'm here to give you a chance to either give some legitimate evidence that I'm an anti-Semite or to stop saying that shit.
Where did I specifically state that you're anti-Semitic?
I have a sound clip of it, dude. I play it constantly.
And what did I say specifically?
You said that you backed up Smokey Saint's claims.
What did I say? What did I say specifically? All right, you said you played it many times. So what did I say exactly?
Well, you said I clearly said that all Jewish people were a bunch of sheep fuckers. And that makes me an anti-Semite.
And did you say that on my stream?
No, I did not. I
really? Are we gonna have to bust out the clip on that, bro? Because you said it multiple times, actually, on my stream. In the time that I'm referring to, in regards to when I let you come onto my stream, you said sheep fucker multiple times.
I said it like once.
Hold on. Two times, bro. Hold on. But did he say all Jews, or was he referring to the people that wrote the Bible?
Okay, he literally just denied ever saying it. And now we're going to argue semantics. Now we're going to argue semantics. Do we really need to pull it up?
No, I didn't.
Real quick, John.
Do we really need to pull it up?
John.
Anyway, the point I made. Hang on. John, I let him talk. It's my turn now.
John, I understand that, but
somebody's really triggered.
Here's the thing. Like I pointed out, and other people pointed out, we grant your premise. Okay, he said that back in the past in one of his videos.
Okay, so if I'm calling,
hold on.
So now I'm taking all the same positions as somebody else because I called him out for something that he said on my channel.
You've got to stop interrupting.
That's fine. I'm not here to debate you, John. I'm here to debate.
I understand that.
So I would like for you to be quiet and let the two of us have a conversation.
Okay, and that's what we're going to do. Okay,
moderators
sit there and say things that are untrue. Okay,
I'm not saying something untrue. I'm literally calling him out. He's being a liar right now.
All right.
No, I'm not.
No, the job of the moderators is to moderate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the best way that we can do that is to create a situation where each of you has a chance to say your piece.
And that's what I'm trying to do here. But I just want to say this, okay? The reason that we disagreed with you guys, John, is because Nakasuchi, if we grant the premise that he said that about the people that wrote the Bible, that's a very specific group of people that cannot be extrapolated into a person is calling the Jewish people that nasty name. Okay.
Right.
So that's where you guys got off the tracks of trying to claim that Knock is a racist and said something about the entire group of Jewish people. That's where the disagreement was. And here's the thing. We're going to talk about the two issues that you disagree with each other on, which is the Old Testament and abortion. And we're just going to lay this other shit aside, and we're going to let you go first, John, and we're we're going to start with the abortion issue. And go ahead and take a couple of minutes and you explain where it was you and Nakasuchi differed on this issue. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's set up a premise of number one. John, I am not here to listen to you talk. You've literally dominated this conversation. Okay.
No, I have not.
Yes, you
No,
have.
I
We can
have
go
not.
back. We can go back in time things if we want
Okay.
to. Now,
Here we go.
if
All right, here's the thing. Again, we are here to have a discussion about the Old Testament and your disagreements with Nakasuchi on the abortion issue. That's all I was trying to frame out and to get you guys on that page. We're done talking about Smokey Saint. We're done talking about the fact that you and Smokey want to say that Ronnie is a racist, okay, because he's not. We are talking about the two issues that you guys have an issue with, and that is the Old Testament, and that is your stance on abortion, okay? And I am giving you the opportunity right now to get that conversation going. You get to go first, John. Lay your groundwork of how you disagree with Nakasuchi on the abortion issue, and we'll have a back and forth between the two of you, and I will not talk again. So go ahead.
thank God, that was like a 2-minute diatribe.
Yeah, right. 2 minutes. God damn. Man.
I thought you weren't going to talk anymore. I thought you were going to talk anymore. Can you be quiet?
I mean, because you start in with the
Dude,
bullshit.
shut up. Let me talk. Good Lord.
Okay.
Okay.
How about this? I'll talk for just 1 second to say, LPP, you have the floor.
I'm not here to discuss the Old Testament. The only thing I'm here to discuss is abortion. If he wants to just argue anti-Semitism and all that in Old Testament, he can have that conversation with Smokey. The only reason I'm here is because when I came to his stream after the debate, he was talking trash about me, specifically in the context of abortion. So, do I think that abortion is homicide, genocide, a variety of other sides? Yes. Do I think it is justified? No. Do I think that it is a completely separate form of life that is being exterminated? Yes. Do I think that in any other context would the premise of extermination and execution of a life form that is innocent and without the power to defend itself would be an atrocity and a criminal activity? Yes, I do. So to have anybody make the argument that somehow that is an unreasonable position, I think that just exemplifies a lack of big picture thinking and sanctity of life expression, and a mindset that as a father, and it was ironic that in that stream, the Rage's daughter, young daughter, looks about the same age as mine, came up and was talking to him. And, you know, I personally find people that have kids and are active proponents of abortion to be, I think they really have something broken in their brain and their mind and their personality and their morals. Because once you, in my opinion, once you've experienced the joy that is creation of life and observing those new souls begin to take form and personality and make their mark on the world, to even contemplate having exterminated them before they had a chance is just something that I mean, I understand that people have different perceptions, and I know a lot of people don't really contemplate what would things would really be like if they had taken that action. But when you look across the world and just consider the sheer volume of lives that are not here, and how that number dramatically surpasses the number of deaths in every war in the history of humanity. To me, when I listen to people like the Rage talk about human rights and all these social justice activities and these different things that he supports to supposedly help humans, yet is not only in favor of abortion, but literally insults and derides me because I am against it. That seems like the direct antithesis of the supposed positions he takes on these other issues, and I find it to be rather pathetic.
Well, real
Good,
quick,
All
real quick,
right.
Ronnie, and just to get a clarification from you, LPP. So it's not possible for a person to be correct on one issue but be wrong on a related issue.
Am I here to debate you, or am I here to
All right.
debate him?
I'm not. I'm asking you a question of clarification.
I'm not here to have a conversation with you. I'm here to have a conversation with him.
I understand that. Okay, but
All right,
here's
just-
the thing, dude.
Let me answer.
Go ahead, dude.
For one, like, did you even watch my stream? Because if you watched my stream, you would fully understand that while I am for pro-choice, I don't believe in abortion. I would never want anybody that I've ever had sex with and have impregnated to get an abortion. I am for pro-choice because that is an individual liberty and a political discussion. Now, you brought up abortion in context to secular morality, and that it's secular morality is the reason why we have abortions. That's what I took issue with your stance. But like, did you watch my stream? Do you totally understand my stance as a pro-choice? I'm for pro-choice, but I personally don't personally agree with abortion.
So I mean, I heard what you said. I think that.
Well, I mean, you just totally.
I think it's a weak. I think it's no, because I think it's a completely weak cop out of trying to play both sides.
How?
And
how?
Okay,
I've never had an abortion. I've never wanted to have an abortion, but I'm for pro-choice. I'm for individual rights of women. I think women should have the right to determine the medical procedures they have upon their bodies. We live in a free country.
Right. So the whole point that I am making is that either one, when it comes to biology, you are staggeringly ignorant and have bought into the propaganda that's been pushed by the hard left, of which I believe you say you're an advocate.
Yeah, I'm a hard leftist, yes.
Things such as Roe v. Wade. I mean, do you even understand what the legal foundation of Roe v. Wade was?
I probably do, but like, do you understand that abortion was legal when this country was first started? It was then made illegal, and that there was reasons why Roe v. Wade came about and why it was made legal.
So do you actually understand what the legal foundation of Roe v. Wade is?
Maybe. Tell me. Refresh me.
Viability.
Viability. All right.
It was not determined that the quote unquote fetus was part of the female body, which is the argument that's made now in the propaganda. It was made that it was based on viability. Well, what they have fast forward to now, and we know beyond doubt that a baby can be viable if born at 21 weeks. We know this beyond doubt because it's been proven. A baby was born at that and survived. So we know that the survivability is there. So viability has taken that timeline has shrunk exponentially. And we know that as our medical technology continues to advance, that number will continue to get shorter. So if the genetics of the child are from the moment of inception are categorically 150%, there is no similarity other than the recombination effect that's happened in the fertilization process. That child is always a separate entity. It can have different blood types, very often does. There is literal separation between mother and infant. So to claim that it is the woman's body, quote unquote, that is the decision being made for is a categorically false one from the literal moment of fertilization. And that goes all the way to the irony of that there is literally a flash of light from the phosphorus combination that's happening when sperm meets egg. And to argue that you're going to defend this based on the woman choosing what to do with her body is either an ignorant position or one that is ignoring the falsity of that claim.
Not at all. So I'm looking at it right now. So yeah, there was a baby born at 21 weeks. Did that baby survive on its own?
That has zero relevancy to whether or not it can survive.
No, you're saying that the baby's viable and that it could survive on its own, born at 21 weeks.
No, I didn't say it could survive on its own. I said it could survive.
So it didn't survive on its own. It survived based upon modern
Can any baby survive after it's born normally?
They did for thousands of years.
Did they have parents?
Yeah.
Okay, so did they survive on their own?
Well, I mean, they survived without
Did they survive on their own? Yes or
machinery
no?
keeping them alive and developing their organs.
That has nothing to do with
Sure
whether
it
or not
does.
it can live.
Sure it does. You want to say that this is whatever. So
Okay, if a baby comes out, if a baby comes out of the canal and isn't given any food, is it going to live or die?
of course it's going to die.
Okay, so if
I'm
a
not
baby is
talking
born,
about food. I'm not talking about just
it's survivor.
natural
It's
living.
external requirements in order to survive. It doesn't matter if it's a ventilator or nutrients. It doesn't make any difference. It still is not self-sufficient.
So what you're trying to say is that this is a viable creature without its parent, and it's not. At 21 weeks, that baby just can't survive on its own without very advanced
At
medical
9 months
technology.
and 1 day, it can't survive on its own either.
It can survive with its parents
Right.
without medical technology.
You're muted right now, John. You got to let Nakasuchi finish his sentences, all right? This isn't the John Maddox show, all right? And the point he was trying to make to you is that 21-week-old baby that was born couldn't survive without modern technology. And you're trying to conflate nutrients and parents with modern technology. And that's a little...
Not to mention, you're bringing out an example that's a rarity. There was one 21-week-old baby that has survived. But beyond all of that, you relate this to secular morality, which was my issue. So you want to conflate that I believe in abortion when I've clearly stated time and time again that I don't. I'm for freedom and individual rights. I'm a progressive. That shouldn't surprise you. You claim to be, I don't even know what you claim to be, but this is a political conversation. It has nothing to do with morality. You want to say that it's based upon secular morality. Well, let's talk statistics here, because there are a lot of abortions in this country, a lot of them. 17% of them in 2014 where patients identified themselves as mainline Protestants, 13% as evangelical Protestant, 24% as Catholic, while 38% reported no religious affiliation, 8% reported some other affiliation. 54% of all abortions in 2014 were done by Christians. Christians got them. So that was my beef with what you were saying about abortion. So you want to come in and say that I'm something that I'm not, that I have a position that I don't, because you don't understand my position, but I'm clearly refuting yours.
Okay, so number one, obviously neither you nor John have the IQ to comprehend the point that I was making, because the food...
I guess
all
not.
right, dude, you're muted again, all right?
Let him talk. I do want him to let him talk.
No, I'm going to let him
John.
talk, but I'm just going to tell him right now, stop with the insults, okay? That's
he's
not
gonna
what we're here
insult.
for. We're here for a conversation, so go ahead and respond to Nakasuchi's points and stop with the insults, dude.
Let him insult, John, because I love it. Let him insult.
Okay,
unmuted. Go ahead,
so am I off mute now?
Yep.
Okay. I would greatly appreciate it, Scott, if you actually are supposed to be a moderator for me. I'd appreciate it if you would mute John and stop him from interrupting me every 5 seconds.
I don't actually have,
he doesn't have a mute power.
Oh, well, then he's not actually a moderator, then, is he?
Well, no, but I can moderate.
Okay, so John is obviously, and Ronnie are obviously missing the entire point, because in terms of the survivability. So if you're going to argue that the machinery is the only bearing, then for the children that are born, quote unquote, normally, but then require, or premature, but it's only a month premature instead of dramatically premature, and then go into ICU, then you need to, if you're going to make that argument, then you have to claim that they are not and should not be protected by the same rights that I'm arguing should be extenuated to the baby while it's still in the womb. Like, I'm not really sure how difficult that comprehension is. If you're going to make the argument that, oh, it's because it's machines, then any child that's born normally and then put on machines in, infant ICU, that same logic that you're trying to put forth would extrapolate. I'm not really sure how difficult that is. Now, to your point in context of...
Question, finish your thought, LPP, but I'd like to follow up on that.
Who is that?
That's Scott. I'd like to follow up on that, but finish your thought. I'll come back to it.
No, in the context of the points you were trying to make of like, on check boxes, people said they were Protestants, evangelicals, etc. Well, this would actually one, that really doesn't have any bearing on whether or not secular morality has influenced and convinced a significant number of people that it is an acceptable morally acceptable thing to do. Beyond that, we have dramatic, and one of the reasons that I argue in other contexts in relation to or against evolution, because huge portions of people, even in the religious side of the equation, have been convinced that that is the case, and the special creation that we are has lost a huge portion of its significance. Now, from the big picture, there, if you want to keep looking at the data, I would suggest you go do a little Googling on the psychological ramifications on women, regardless of religious affiliation, post abortion. Obviously, oftentimes not right away, but usually it's very dramatic and can be very dramatic. Fast forward 5, 10, 15, 20 years later.
I agree with you. I've talked about that often. I think that there are psychological ramifications. I think it's a very hard choice for any woman to make, and nobody, including yourself, should talk shit about those people and those choices that they've made. They've made very hard choices that they have to live with, and they don't need people like you, douchebags like you, talking down to them and telling them that they're something that they're not.
Okay, so the point that I was making in the context of I'm talking down to the people who are actively pushing for it. I understand. I know people personally who've been down that path. I've dealt with some of their psychological ramifications.
You don't think calling them murderers or talking down to them?
Hang on.
Oh, you can interrupt me, but I can't interrupt you.
I'm just saying, hang on. Let me respond to your point. Again, to clarify, I am actively against those who push to try and convince people that it is, it's just a decision by the woman, and this is just a political issue, and we don't need to discuss whether or not this is a moral problem. That is the entire point. Now, for people who have gone into it and done it, a huge percentage of them that have actually been the ones who did it have not been. They don't operate from this perspective of like, I'm just going to go kill it because I don't care. They do think about it heavily. You're absolutely right on that. And I'm not saying, they're just, murderers running around. Now, if they're, if they've had 5 or 6 freaking abortions, then that's a totally different story. At that point, you're just, I would have a much different argument in that context. If you have had a kid and then you go have abortions after the fact, I would view you in a much different perspective, because you have now gone through that aspect of life and have a much different perspective. For the 15-year-old girl who's gotten pregnant and thinks her life's coming to an end and is young and makes that move, am I going to judge that person? No. I am going to judge the people who have hardcore political action committees and supposed nonprofits that run around with the direct objective of convincing people that it's a totally normal thing to do, and you shouldn't look at alternatives, and have filed lawsuits to prevent waiting periods. Think about it for a couple days. Alternatives. Think about adoption. Those groups I have a serious problem with, and I think they're active proponents of.
Then why do you have a problem with me? Because I don't actively push abortion. I've had one stream about abortion where I brought a couple women on so they could talk about abortion. I don't actively push for abortion. I actively push for BLM. I actively push for normalizing atheism. I push for progressive politics. But I'm not sitting here, and even in real life, I don't do it on the channel. I don't do it in real life. That's not part of my activism.
So then why were you talking so much trash about me and to me about the fact that I think it's a secular, the only reason it's justified is under the false pretense of secular morality.
I told you my issue with you is that you're trying to claim that this is secular morality when clearly 54% of the country in 2014 that got abortions had a Christian worldview, had nothing to do with secular morality. They had a Christian worldview.
The people that are do you actually think that the people who have actually had an abortion versus people who are pushing for the abortion, that's a totally different dynamic.
Hey, LPP, can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Scott.
So my question is, and this is again, I'm coming into this fresh, so I don't have an axe to grind, and I didn't know anything about this whole dispute until I was asked to be on this. So my question for you is, what do you mean when you use the term secular morality? How do you define that, and what is the implication of that for this conversation about abortion?
Well, I mean, there's multiple aspects to that. One, obviously, would be from a secular morality perspective, you have subjective morals, and those can only be derived by removing. I mean, subjective morality is based on what is acceptable in the society at the time, and obviously, anybody knows that. Everybody knows that knows anything about philosophy and history. These dynamics change dramatically, and what I find fascinating in the supposed human rights environment that we now live in modern society, especially in this past 10, 15 years, with all of the identity politics and social justice moves to supposedly work in favor of all these quote unquote human rights, and yet the volume on not looking at abortion from an objective perspective of, is it life, yes or no? If it is, then this is wrong. Continues to be argued from the subjective that, oh, it's just part of the woman's body and it's the woman's right to choose. It's like, really? Well, if you're going to go down the argument of body, literally 50% of the DNA that is this new entity is mine.
But see,
so we can make this. We could extrapolate out the same argument, which, by the way, that argument legally has started to gain credence. So I mean, it's.
Let me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to clarify the situation, because when you say the root of secular morality is subjectivism, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's what I'm hearing from you. And then you say, and that implies an argument that says that the woman's body, that the fetus is part of the woman's body. It seems to me that argument can be right or that argument can be wrong, but it doesn't seem to me that it's a subjective argument. A subjective argument would be one that would say basically, I think abortion is fine because I feel that abortion is fine, right? Or I don't have a moral argument against it. It's fine with me personally. That's what I would understand a subjective argument to be, right? Or a culture.
No.
Well, and that's
you're missing the point, right?
No, he's not missing the point, and that was my criticism. That was my criticism of it. This is not when you're having a conversation about abortion, that's not a morality conversation. That's a political one. There's a difference.
Did you miss the second half of what I just said?
Probably. You talk a lot.
Okay. Did I say that it is ultimately about what is life and what is not life? And if the fetus is alive while if at conception, then it is a moral question, not a subjective one. It is a yes or no. It's an objective, not a subjective. If it's alive, then are the same rights that we apply to every other form of life per the strong activities of identity politics and social justice. Why would the same rights that you argue for in favor of all those other issues, I'm saying you rhetorically, not apply to the child?
But would it still be? Let me frame this slightly. What am I trying to say? Is the issue that it is alive, or is the issue that it is a person, or don't you make that distinction? Because it seems to me that there's a difference between saying something has rights because it's alive. There are lots of living things that don't have rights, and saying that it has rights because it's a person, and in its personhood, it is vested with those particular rights.
If a drunk driver runs into a pregnant woman and the woman dies, they're charged with double homicide. So legally, that is already an answered question on whether or not it should be granted the same rights.
But that depends on which state you live in. So that doesn't.
The vast majority of states.
Well, but the point is that.
But this goes back to secular morality.
Even if the law didn't say that, even if no state had a law like that, you could still make an argument that the woman should be charged with it because it is morally bad. So the question I'm asking is, does the does the morality attach to the fact, to the personhood of the fetus, or simply that it is human, it is living human material?
Well, I mean, I would say this would go back to, and I'll answer your question directly, but I would say this goes back to the faux subjectivity of the secular worldview.
But see, I think that's not a question.
I'm not. I haven't finished answering the question yet.
Okay, go.
Because personally, I think that type of attempt to create a separation is nothing but a attempted cop-out by weak-minded fools who don't have the C.O. Jones to actually make the real distinction. So every aspect of the components that are required for me to become me exist from the moment of the zygote formation. Yes. So therefore is what I am at the ultimate core in existence from before the woman even realizes she's pregnant. Yes.
Okay.
So does personhood apply? Yes.
Okay. So that answers my question well. So your argument is that personhood attaches to the zygote at pretty much at the moment of conception, right? At the moment sperm meets egg, personhood exists.
Correct.
Okay. Because, and again, I think that it's just worth noting that that's not. I think that's not whether even if I don't agree with you, even if I said no, actually, for example, it doesn't really kick in until implantation in the uterine wall, for example, which is a position that some people hold. That wouldn't be a subjectivist issue. That would be, an objective moral argument that one could make on the basis of premises, whether those premises are grounded in reason or whether they're grounded in utility. Those are all potentially objective bases for moral determination, right? So I'm just sort of bringing us back to this question of secular morality being fundamentally subjective here.
Well, I mean, what this ultimately comes down to is, are we unique souls, or are we the result of undirected chance processes which have resulted in what we now view as life? I mean, that's the ultimate distinction between the two.
Please demonstrate a soul. Can you demonstrate?
What is your consciousness?
Can you demonstrate that consciousness?
What is consciousness?
I think it's the brain.
So
can you demonstrate that it's dualism like you think it is?
Can I demonstrate this? What?
That it's dualism like you think it is. That the consciousness.
Oh well. I mean, given the fact that the whole delayed choice experiments from back in the day have been disproven back in, I think it was 2013, and that they've now shown that there is no recognized brain activity when we decide not to do something. There's many neuroscientists that are publicly stating that there's something separate between mind and consciousness and brain. That materialist argument from the atheist community that's been so aggressive is starting to lose dramatic amounts of supposed evidence, number one. So if there is something that is actually causing the functions that is not subjective to or completely caused by the chemical reactions in the brain, which we hear, the talking point we hear so much, then obviously there's something external. And then you really have to start to factor in, where do abstract thoughts come from that are immaterial? And if they are immaterial and thoughts are immaterial, then the fact that they can be executed and actualized through the brain has nothing to do with what caused them to come into being in the first place.
Now,
You
I
talk
have
a
to
lot.
say that I'm actually sympathetic with what LPP is going for here. Although I would note that I think that I'm not a materialist, but I'm also not a dualist. I'm actually an idealist monist. So it seems to me that the question is not, is mind a product of material processes in the brain, but rather are sort of brain functions correlated with something, with something which we call mind, which is sort of the seat of our intellect. But even at
Yeah.
that, I'm not sure that you can reduce mind. Well, it wouldn't be a reduction. I'm not sure you can necessarily say that because mind is a sort of the seat of myself, that therefore it demonstrates what I think, Nagasuchi, you're going for when you're asking for something that describes the soul.
Well, yeah, and I'll be completely honest. The science, John is sitting here saying that there, for one, could not demonstrate. There is no ability to demonstrate because the science isn't in on this. Science is out. This is a hot debate. Science is they're looking at this. So I'm not going to sit here and say that me as a materialist, or me thinking that the brain and the body is the brain and the soul is connected is fact. I'm not sitting here saying that like John is. I'm sitting here saying that this is a mystery that we have not solved yet. I believe that the brain is that the mind is part of the brain. I don't personally believe in a soul. That's me. Science hasn't come back in on that, and I'm honest about that. But that has really nothing to do with the debate about abortion again, which is individual rights for women. So, do you consider, or do you know that abortion rates right now is lower than it has been since 1973?
I mean, that's great. I'm not really sure what the point of that is.
Well,
In the context, you just tried to bring this back around to the rights of women. And so why is it the right of a woman to terminate something that is not actually part of her body? It's in her body. It is not actually part of her body.
Well, we can have discussions about overall abortions. I personally would love to see the abortion numbers come down. I would love to see abortions only be used in specific instances. That's me. But when it comes to taking away the rights of women, I don't agree with that.
But why is it their right is the whole point. You framed
their
it
body.
with the right of their body. And I literally just countered that. So you're not addressing the point where I'm making, which is it's in her body. It is not part of her body. It is completely different
It
entity.
is definitely part of her body.
How so?
It cannot survive without her.
That again, this goes back to the point I was making earlier.
The 21-year-old
comes
baby
out of her vagina, it can't come
on
it can't survive on its own
machinery is
either.
not the same thing.
No,
it's not the same thing.
Whether it's on machinery or not has zero bearing.
Yes, that matters, John.
Okay,
that
if
matters.
the woman, hang on. If the woman, okay, let's say the woman is pregnant. She gets shipwrecked on an island. It's just her and she's pregnant. She pops the kid out. Then she goes swimming and a shark eats her. Is that baby going to live or die?
It's gonna die. What?
Okay, why?
Because it's inside of her. It's part of her.
No. She had the baby. Then she got eaten by a shark. Now the baby is alone on the island. Is that baby going to live or die?
I don't know.
Okay. Really? A 3-week-old infant on an island with nobody else?
Hey,
is that
maybe a pack of wolves will take care of it like Wolverine. I don't know.
There's nothing on the island except for freaking coconut tree.
Taught me nothing else. It's that there are always friendly apes available on tropical islands.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
take care of abandoned human babies.
We have plenty of instances.
There is nothing but her. Obviously, I mean, the fact that you guys are trying to avoid the thought experiment is hilarious. There's nothing on the island except her, sand.
I'm not avoiding it. I
answered
your question. I said I don't know. I don't know if that baby would survive or not because it's not a fact that it wouldn't. There's several factors that could come in and that baby would survive.
Okay, are you going to literally make me come up with every single variable of why that you can just answer? Of course, the baby is not going to live if the mother is gone and there's nobody else to take care of it. The whole point I'm making is creating the separation. Are you honestly this dumb?
So maybe.
I'm literally making a separation of it doesn't matter if the baby is inside the mother's womb or outside of the mother's womb until it is grown and is big enough to take care of itself. It is not, without external, whether it's freaking monkeys or baboons, whatever, that child is not going to survive on its own. Therefore,
Okay, well then let me ask you.
the
hold on,
location
hold on,
of the
hold on,
child has nothing to do with whether or not it is part of the mother's body.
How can you
There you go,
guarantee
you're
that?
muted again. Hey, look, let me ask you this then. Let's grant that everything you just said is true. Then why is it significant that 21 month old baby survived? Because it didn't survive without the medical machinery.
Am I still on mute?
No, you go ahead, answer.
Okay, I don't know why you're asking me that question, because you guys are clearly missing my entire point, which is that it doesn't matter whether it's at 21 weeks, if it's at 10 months, or if it's at 36 weeks or whatever. That has zero bearing on whether or not the point that Rage keeps making, which is, oh, it's part of the woman's body, which I am clearly separating from this from a genetic perspective, a blood type perspective, a every physiological perspective. Literally everything about it from the beginning is a completely separate entity. The location of it has zero bearing as to whether or not it is a genetically and biologically conjoined component of the female body. Now, there's a connection from a nutrients perspective, but everything else is completely separate. And if you want to extrapolate that argument, then you could say, well, if the woman's breastfeeding after the fact, well, she's still giving him nutrients. Therefore, it's part of her body. If you want to go down that rabbit hole versus the nutrients coming through a placenta.
But that goes back to the point that I wanted to return to earlier, because I actually think that you put your finger precisely on the distinction, which is the infant in the woman's body versus the infant outside of the woman's body, or the fetus inside the body, however you want to frame it. That the question of when do moral rights attach is precisely at the point at which it is no longer dwelling within the woman's body.
In most abortions, Scott and John, most abortions in most states is 12 weeks. 12 weeks. No baby is viable at 12 weeks. It's not a baby at 12 weeks. It's a clump of cells forming into a fetus. In some states, it's let me find it. It's like 20 weeks in a few states, I believe. Again, that would be very few states where it's actually 20 weeks. And late-term abortion only happens for medical emergencies. There's a need. The mother's going to die, something along those lines. So we're talking about 12 weeks, and circumstances that sometimes are abhorrent, sometimes are just life situations. You spoke of the 15-year-old girl not ready to have a child. There are several factors that comes into a abortion political debate. Now,
Okay,
my issue was the morality.
Real quick, man. So if you think at 21 weeks it's a clump of cells,
I said 12 weeks.
Sorry, 12. 12 weeks. Okay, so you do know at 3 weeks it's got a heartbeat, right?
Well, it's
so that's not just
that's
not just a clump of cells,
forming into
right?
a fetus.
So okay, so if you have a heartbeat, what's one of the factors in which death is?
I believe like the heart
legally?
is one of the first things that forms.
No, I'm saying in terms of death, what constitutes death? What is it? What are the variables?
Brain and heart death, I would assume.
Right. So if you have both brain and heart activity prior to 12 weeks, are you still a clump of cells, or do you have the exact same reciprocal factors
is there
of what we consider death versus life?
Is there brain activity prior to 12 weeks?
I think so.
I don't. But again, this is all about.
Oh, it's by the 9th week. Oh man.
9th week. What are you talking about?
Oh wait. Oh, sorry. Actually, 5th week. There we go. In just the 5th week after conception, the first synapses begin forming in a fetus. Oh man. Babies show very basic electrical activity in the primary sensors. There we go. So that's it. That's at 5 weeks.
But I don't think that constitutes.
So I'm countering.
That constitutes to what we're talking about here.
Well, if then you're gonna have to say that heart and brain activity ceasing does not constitute death. Then.
So when it comes to the argument of viability, can a 12-week-old baby survive on its own?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you didn't accept that answer from me when I said I
is
don't
it
know
within
if a fucking baby would survive on an island.
Is it within the realm of possibility, given the fact that we know that
That
at 20?
sounds like my answer about the island.
No. That has nothing to do.
That sounds exactly like my answer about your whole thought experiment.
No, actually, my thought experiment was to counter your point that the need for external sources, i.e., machines, to keep it alive, does not have any bearing outside of the womb. Because if you remove the mother or any other adult or external factor from the baby post leaving of the uterus, the same logic applies. It still requires an external force, whether it is a machine at 21 weeks or mom, dad, nurse, whatever, post leaving the birth canal.
Right,
I mean, that's the whole point that's being made.
You want to get rid of
abortion. So with what we're getting to in context of the advancements in vitro fertilization and different aspects that are being done in biology labs across the world, trying to figure out ways to be able to accomplish this at earlier and earlier times. I mean, what are we going to say if it's that the next time they pull it off at 18 weeks, and then 17 weeks, and then 15 weeks? If we're figuring out how to do this, then I mean, because it was a couple of years ago when nobody thought any younger than, I think it was like 32 weeks was possible, and that was just a couple of years ago. Now it's 21 weeks because technologies keep advancing. So the point that I'm making is
it's possible at 21 weeks because of technology. And that was one time, dude. That was one time.
So the baby is still alive.
Yeah, it's a 4-year-old now. Yes, it's still alive, but that was one time.
Okay, so there's been plenty of others at relatively young ages. You're missing the entire point, obviously.
Hang on. I just want to ask 2 questions of clarification. One, Knock, if any woman came to you and asked your advice about having an abortion, what would you advise her? Would you advise her to look for options beyond abortion?
Yes, I would definitely. My advice would be to consider long and hard before the time period, to consider it deeply. My advice would always be to have the child.
And John, my question to you is, what does the Bible say about when life begins?
I was going to get there eventually.
I mean, Bible pretty. Let's see. I believe there's a psalm that says, "Before I was in my mother's womb, you knew me." I mean,
I remember the verse. You're a human when you draw your first breath.
Pretty sure there's a psalm about when I was in my mother's womb, you knew me.
Well, it also says what Nakasuchi just said. But look, we've been going for an hour now. You said that you didn't want to discuss anything from the Old Testament.
Which I don't understand, because that is the origin of the beef. You called me an anti-Semite because of my stance on ancient culture in Israel.
No, I called you anti-Semitic because you called Jews sheep fuckers.
I didn't.
Times.
I called the Bible writers sheep fuckers, and I said it once as hyperbole because you guys were insisting that I said it.
Dude, I would. Okay. I wasn't talking until you started saying this.
I said it. No, you brought me onto your show. Smokey was saying the shit. I said I hyperbolically.
Was I saying anything?
Sheep fuckers.
When you two were talking, was I interrupting you, or did I let you guys talk for like 15 minutes?
You let Smokey talk. I didn't get much chance to talk.
I didn't interrupt. Did I interrupt you guys? Yes or no?
Yes, a couple times. Yes.
No. At the end, I did.
No,
I let you
the whole thing.
I let you guys go for a while.
You let him go. You let him go, and then every time I spoke, you pretty much overrode me.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I reviewed the whole thing. My audience has seen it, so I mean, they saw it. I reviewed the whole thing.
Okay.
I got sound bites of it.
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
I let you
on my stream, let you guys yell at each other about something that was completely separate than what
you let him yell at me. I was trying to be decent. So here's the question. Here's the
anyway,
question for
I'm
you, John.
not. Anyway, so
do you condone Smoky Saint's behavior, the vitriol, the ad hominem attacks? Do you, as a Christian, condone that?
This is not about me. This is
well,
about
I mean, you do the same thing.
You.
You've done it here today.
I think that the two of you need to go have your stupid debate in a neutral forum.
Well, I think he needs to come on here and bring these allegations to me first.
Why, no, dude, you guys have both been talking trash to each other, okay? And the reason at this point, after my conversation with you tonight, when I keep getting muted and I'm having to deal with two other people, well, two specifically, a third one halfway, and
halfway.
This isn't a neutral forum. No, I mean I wouldn't come back on here. I'm here to have the conversation, but I'm not coming back on here to get muted. Well, actually, I took it back. I will come back on if John Peterson is not on this because he's been annoying the crap out of me more than you.
Never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Obviously, because you have a serious ego
problem. Well, no, because you can't keep your mouth shut when you're supposed to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, I haven't really had too much. You've done a whole lot of talking. You're complaining about the moderators. Scott has actually tried to flesh out your positions and agreed with a few of them. Scott's a pretty decent dude.
Anyway,
but I mean, you've talked a lot more than me. I mean, I've let you just ramble and say all this stupid shit. But the gist of this argument was you're right there with Smokey insinuating that I'm an anti-Semite based upon an hyperbolic comment. I want to ask you, what do you find so defendable about the ancient Israelite culture? Why do you feel the need to be so offended if I don't respect it?
To be honest, I'm not like super duper offended. I think it's more of a juvenile position to take by somebody who has
the sheep fuckers comment was juvenile. Yes, it was
deep-seated hatred for anything to do with theistic concepts. And I would
how
say
can I hate theistic concepts when I don't believe in them? I don't like Christians. I don't like Christians.
Okay, so is Christianity theistic? So is Christianity based on theism?
Yes.
Okay, so if you hate Christians and Christianity,
I didn't say I hate.
Therefore,
Christians.
you hate theism.
I dislike most Christians. I actually like Scott seems pretty decent. I've got a friend, Justin Coe. He's a Christian. We're really good friends. I dislike most Christians because they're like you.
Okay. So what?
Yeah, I mean, insults and you want to pretend like I can't have the same rights to say what I believe in that you have to say in what you believe in.
Dude, when have I said you can't say anything? When have I ever? When have I remotely stated that you can't say what you want to say?
You insinuated that I'm anti-Semite because I made a hyperbolic comment about an ancient Israelite culture that I have no respect for, that nobody should respect.
So you don't respect it. You think nobody else should have respect for it.
Why would you have respect for a culture that slavery, sex slavery, genocide? Why would you respect that? Why would you respect somebody being able to sell their daughter? I have a 10-year-old daughter, right? In ancient Israel, she could be sold into sexual slavery under the law. Why would you respect that?
Okay, so if you're going
what's so great about that,
if you're going to apply that stupid logic,
I mean, what's so great about that?
Are you gonna let me finish the sentence?
You're calling it stupid logic. I'm asking you, what's great about sexual slavery of little girls?
I'm not suggesting anything is great about sexual slavery.
Do you understand that in ancient Israel that
are you going to shut up and let me respond?
No, I'm not. Do you understand in ancient Israel that a girl becomes a woman at the age of 12 years and 1 day? Do you understand that? Why should I respect that? People fucking little girls all over ancient Israel, and I'm supposed to respect that? Why do you respect that? Pedophiles. Why should I respect pedophiles?
Are you done now?
Yeah. Please answer.
Okay, cool. So obviously, I don't. I'm not in favor of pedophilia.
Well, you like the ancient Jews.
Let him finish, Knock. Let him finish his point.
Okay, so obviously you're a little bit triggered right now.
I'm not
because we started talking about Christianity, which you hate and have a deep-seated loathing for, and it gets you all worked up because
I have a loathing. I don't hate it. You can't.
You literally use the word hate. So obviously you have the memory of a person with some serious issues.
I didn't. I said I dislike Christians.
You literally said you hate Christianity earlier.
No, I didn't. I said I
Are
literally
we
said
gonna
the
have,
opposite of that.
are we gonna have to go and rewind?
I
We're gonna have to
literally
go and
said
rewind,
the
obviously.
opposite of that. I said I don't hate Christianity because I don't believe in a Christian God. I don't like Christians. Those were my words, my exact words.
Oh, that was your clarification post. But anyway, the what were we talking about? Oh, so anyway, if you want to go down this rabbit hole in terms of vilifying all aspects of something, then you have to apply that same logic to literally every civilization in the history of the world.
Yeah. If that civilization endorses fucking 12-year-old little girls, I am against it.
Okay.
I mean, do you endorse fucking 12-year-old little girls?
Of course not. Don't ask dumbass
Then why are you
questions
defending
like
a
that.
culture that did?
Okay. So again, if you're going to apply this supposed are there any variations to this? Are there any context to this? Obviously there is, but in the context, I'm talking about from a macro point of view. If you're going to argue that literally every single person of a country or a people is somehow all of these things, then you have to apply that same logic to yourself, because every culture, whichever one that you're derived from, at some point had similar activities that supposedly were a portion of it. So are you
not everyone?
Really? Do you really want to go on a history lesson, bro?
Yeah. Please explain to me which Native American tribes allowed their people to fuck 12-year-old little girls. I'll wait.
Oh my God!
I'm waiting.
Shall we Google? Shall we Google this? Let's Google this.
I'm waiting.
Let's Google this. Let's Google this.
I guess I want to, if I can, I want to press you a little bit, Nakasuchi, on some of the claims you're making here, specifically on the question of the basis of claims like, for example, you become an adult woman at 12 months and 1 day. I assume that you've got a source for that. It's not a source that I'm familiar with. Generally speaking, my understanding is that in most ancient cultures, that sort of adulthood correlated to the onset of the menstrual cycle, which doesn't necessarily happen sort of on a particular schedule, versus like male adulthood is correlated with particular rites of passage or particular age passages. So, for example, you become a man when at the age of 13 when you do your bar mitzvah in Jewish culture. But I'm not familiar, and it just could be ignorance on my part. I'm not familiar with the specific claim that you're making.
I'm trying to find it real quick, but let me find it. Just a second.
Well, and Scott, I mean, that also is problematic because, as you said, there's no date specific where menstruation starts. As a matter of fact, it can start as early as single digit age.
Right.
I mean, so if
and to further clarify that, I think that even if you have a situation in many ancient cultures where you have like betrothal or sort of marriage at an age like
consummation was often much later.
That's exactly right. So you wouldn't necessarily have, and here again, I mean, I can think of a fairly recent example of Gandhi was married to his wife at the age of 12 or so, but they didn't actually consummate the marriage until well into adulthood after he came back from training.
The consummation I'm not sure about. I'm trying to find where I read that it was 12 years and a day. I believe it was the Covenant Code, but I'm trying to find it.
Okay. While you're looking at that, I need to step away for just 1 minute because I've got to go deal with children.
I didn't write it down when I was writing my notes, so I'm trying to find where I.
Yeah,
where I
okay,
read
Scott,
that.
no problem.
I'll step away for 1 minute.
Sure.
Yeah. So anyway,
and that's even one small problem of it. I mean, you have sexual slavery. As I said, you had fathers selling their daughters into the sexual slavery. I'm trying to find the 12-year and 1 day thing because I did read that here.
Keep looking for that, Knock, and let John. You kind of jumped on him. He had started.
Oh, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, that's all right. Go ahead, John.
So anyway, I'm not really sure where all this. You're trying to shift. You're trying to channel your anger at Smokey onto me again.
No, I'm just.
As I said, I came here. I came here to discuss the.
I'm asking respectfully that you stop promoting that I'm an anti-Semite. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm trying to get to.
I haven't said another word. I don't think I've said another word about that since that particular time. My responses to you have been about your trash talking towards me. And
well, my trash talking towards you was a result of your trash talking towards me. I'm petty.
Okay,
like that.
Dude, who started this? I'm pretty sure it was you.
No, your boy did.
No. Okay, so I didn't start it. Somebody else did, and now you're channeling it to me, like I just said you were.
No, you involved.
You literally just said my boy did. So it wasn't something I did. It was something somebody else did.
I showed with you and Smokey both talking shit about me, right? Like, so don't sit here and pretend to be innocent.
Dude, you have literally been trash talking me on MDD for some time. I never said a word about you. I ignored you.
You're not even really on my radar.
I literally ignored you.
I go after. Ask my
point is, dude,
type of Christian I go after.
I literally could have.
Type of Christian I go after.
Okay, I literally could have come after you well before. Okay. Then there was all this trash talking that was going down. I made a few responses. You have then escalated this into doing a stream where you were trash talking me.
I did a whole stream earlier today trash talking you too.
I know. Have I ever done a whole stream trash talking you?
Well, I felt like my audience.
Have I? Yes or no? Have I? Yes or no?
You and Smokey have done a couple.
No. Have I on my channel done a stream trashing you?
I'm talking about your words. I mean, I'm not talking about just your channel. I'm talking about your actions and your words with your words.
And if I had more than maybe 1 or 2 paragraphs where I've trash talked to you on Smokey's channel.
Come on, dog.
Serious? No, in all seriousness. How much? How much have I? How much?
Well, I mean,
was it before or after you were trash talking me?
So
I don't know. Hey, check it out. You were in the side chat the other night talking smack for like 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
What was I talking? Was I literally responding to him trash talking me on a live stream and telling him to send me a link and I would come on the stream?
He was calling me Ronnie the raging retard, dude.
When you were trash talking me?
No, this was in a side stream. I wasn't fucking there. This was just you and your boys.
Wasn't this
like really petty?
You talking trash about me on a live stream?
You're right. You're right.
Was this in relation to you trash talking me? Yes or no?
Probably not. No.
It was. No. It was in response to you trash talking me.
No,
you're literally doing a stream and you're
literally talking.
Wait, hang on. Is your tampon still stuck up you right now?
Okay, come on.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe. Would you like to see it?
Hold on a second.
Guys.
Both of you are muted. Even Nakatsuchi is muted. Just hang on, guys.
You and I could have a conversation.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Maybe, not to say that you're wrong, Nakatsuchi, but maybe John's right. Maybe this conversation can't be had right now because here's the thing. And this is a biased comment. It sounds like John wants to rewrite history. Okay, sure. This whole thing started with Nakatsuchi and Smokey, but you definitely co-signed the things that Smokey were saying. You definitely were talking shit about him. But let's put this all aside and let's make sure that we wrapped up the discussion on abortion, because that was somewhat productive between the two of you. This conversation cannot be had. It's just clearly obvious that you guys cannot talk about this. So here, you're both unmuted.
Well, all right. So, I mean, this really did get petty. You talk shit about me and I talk shit about you. Yeah, we both did it.
And you started this shit. I fired back.
Whatever.
I fired back.
Right. So I'll
you dropped nukes doing live streams, and I'm the one that's overreacting.
I'll even take that. I don't agree with it, but I'll take that. I'll grant your premise that it was all me, dog. I did it all. All right. So how do we get beyond this, right? So you're here.
Here's where it is for me, dude. You stop talking shit about me. I won't talk shit about you. It's not that complicated. You'll stop projecting. You'll stop projecting what other people say onto me as coming from me, and I'm good. That's it.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So that's what I was getting to. All right. So why don't you do this? Why don't you stop calling me an anti-Semite and a race, or even endorsing it? Like, just leave my name out your mouth, and I'll leave your name out my mouth. Why don't you talk to your boy Smokey? and tell him to come and have a conversation with me. If you think that John is unfair, I'll talk to Smokey alone. I don't care. But the original issue here started with Smokey Saint, and you did endorse this shit. Now you can pretend like you didn't, whatever. I like I said, I will take that. I started all of this shit. I'm very childish sometimes.
One second, man. One second. The main reason that I have, in any way, shape, form, or fashion, leaned towards what Smokey said is because you came on my channel and started saying that shit. To me, when
Smokey said I said it, and then
I literally heard it. Dude, hang on, I literally heard it on my stream, bro.
Oh my fucking god!
Dude,
so do you understand that? Like, if somebody is attacking you and saying that you said a thing that you don't remember saying, and not providing receipts to that thing, that you might eventually get frustrated and just be like, "Fuck it." You don't understand that, right?
No, I understand that, but my point is, if you're trying to convince people that's not your position,
I'm not trying to
then that would be a
dumbass
thing to do to come in and give people evidence towards that
I don't
conclusion.
have to convince anybody that I'm not an anti-Semite because the people that watch me know me, right? I am very.
Okay, have I watched you up until like Monday? No. All I experienced was you coming on my channel, and saying that crap. Care. So I'm like, whoa, this seems pretty. Like it's pretty evident of what the accusations are.
John,
so,
just to be clear, what exactly was it he said on your stream?
Okay, we've already clarified this like 5 times. Now,
it was the sheep fuck. I after a while, I said something along the lines like, "Yeah, they're sheep fuckers" or something like that. Just I was tired of hearing it.
Okay, so my point is that it's acting like I'm the one that started all this shit when I'm not. I have responded to shit, and I ain't got a problem with that. I'll do that every time. And now, if somebody wants to escalate things and leads to conversations like this one, I'm going to show up. We'll talk, right. we'll hash it out. Theoretically, we can act like grown ass men, not a bunch of little girls.
I remember
that need to go get their stuff checked. Because that's what this has been degenerating into. You said this. Oh my God, somebody offended me. Like, dude, how old are you?
I will pull out the tampon. All right, so I'm remembering now. So you're referring to me talking shit about you as I was reviewing your debate that you did with Smokey Saint about and my main shit talking. I think I was calling you Maddox. I think that was the first stream I called you Maddox. So I will say that. But my shit talking was the fact that you took a morality debate and turned it into an abortion debate. That was my shit talking to you, right? Right. So you took that and started calling me retarded, Ronnie the Raging Retard, all of this shit. So name calling, it doesn't bother me.
Dude, for like 30 minutes on your stream, you were sitting there talking shit. I was
talking shit about your stupid ass.
You were talking about me directly.
Taking abort. How was I talking about you directly? I don't remember doing that. I called you Mad Ducks.
Yeah, you sat there for 30 minutes insulting me.
I think I remember saying like you say a bunch of shit that you really don't know about.
And my response to that was, that's a big game. You're talking and insult and saying I don't know what I'm talking about. Send me the link right now. I'll hop in. We'll have this conversation out.
This is back in the stream.
Okay. Oh, you're remembering it now. Awesome. So I was calling you out like, hey, dude, let's have this conversation right now. As you're sitting here running your mouth, talking trash and saying that I ain't got it. I'm like, I'm right here. Let's go, bro. You understand? And now I'm right here. Am I not?
Damn, can I? All right, shut up. You understand? I was reviewing Smokey in that instance, right? Like I was reviewing Smokey Saint, my enemy. You had involved yourself in that beef, and you became a part of that stream because you did a debate with Smokey, right? Like, so I'll have to go back and watch all this shit talk. But I remember my issue with you was you turning a morality debate, a debate about morality, secular versus Christian morality, and you turned it into an abortion debate. That was my issue, and that's what I talked about in that.
And you don't think that a huge percentage of people view abortion, pro-life, pro-choice as a morality debate?
No, I think it's a political debate. It's politics.
No. Are you saying that you don't think a huge portion of people don't just view it as a political debate? They view it as a moral debate.
No, I think a huge portion of people view it as a hot button political debate.
So it can be both political and moral. You do realize that, right?
I can see the moral implications of the abortion
Okay, so
argument. I don't see how abortion is relevant to a morality argument between secular and Christian morality, especially when I laid out the numbers for you that your Christian morality doesn't stop you from getting abortions.
Okay, just because somebody claims something,
54% of the people
just
that
because
got
somebody
abortions
checkbox
were Christians.
Okay, how many people do you think say, "Oh, I'm a Catholic" and haven't been to mass?
How many atheists do you think are in this country? Do you think that there's? I mean, there was 862.
Answer my question.
There was 862,320 abortions performed in 2017. How many atheists do you think are in this country?
So, can I jump in just for a second, because I'm going to have to sign off in just a minute? But first of all, I mean, so returning back to the general, I'm glad we're returning back to the atheists, to the abortion discussion, because I think that that's a ground that there can be a conversation about. But it seems to me that what I'm understanding LPP to be saying is that, on the one hand, political conversations are often grounded in moral differences between people. And on the other hand, and again, I'm not saying I necessarily agree with him on this point, but that many people who call themselves Christian, you probably said this is true of me, many people who call themselves Christian may be operating out of a secular morality, right? So in other words, I'm sort of non-Christian, or, maybe I even go to church, but the fundamental basis of my morality is this secular thing, which may or may not have any particular relevance to what it actually means to be moral from a Christian perspective. So when you take those two things together, then I think that's where you get sort of the essence of what LPP's point is.
All right, so if you want to see abortion as a morality thing, then why doesn't God have a problem with killing unborn babies?
Okay, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Well, I mean, hear me out. So does God have an issue with killing unborn babies?
I would say so, yeah.
Why would you say that? Did God kill any unborn babies in the flood?
Okay, we're not going to go down that
Why not?
stupid rabbit hole.
Why not? So were any of the firstborn, or like were any of the children in Egypt?
Okay,
like,
look,
could any of those have been unborn?
Listen, I have to be up in 3 hours. If you want to have this conversation, we can have it another time. Let's wrap.
You wanted a morality debate about abortion, so let's talk about the Christian morality and the morality of God when it comes to unborn babies.
Have I told you from the very beginning? I just said, if you want to have another discussion about this topic, we can. We can't right now because I have to be up in 3 hours.
All right, I'll give you that.
I said I would show up. I showed up like a fucking man, as I always am.
I'll give you that. I don't
hear no bullshit from you about you think I'm going to show up and all this crap. I'm here.
I've given you
an hour and a half of my time, so I don't want to hear more bullshit from you. Okay.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I will make this agreement with you. I will go to a more respectful tone with you. I will agree to, like, let's stop the name calling and shit. I'll leave that for Smokey. I will make that agreement with you if you're truly like willing to have that escalation of a potential adversarial relationship to where it's more respectful. I'm totally willing to go there with you. I will put that out there.
So look,
I'm good with that, but I'm not going to deal with being held responsible for somebody else's shit. Okay?
That's perfectly fine. That's justifiable, and I agree with you.
I step up for my own shit. You better step up for your shit.
All right, but yeah, that's cool.
That's how I roll. And not a bunch of this other like girly bullshit. Like, oh my god, you pissed me off, but your friend did this.
Check it out.
No, you didn't piss me off because you was friends with Smokey. You pissed me off because you condoned his actions.
Hold on, I muted him. Here, check it out. Why is it a pejorative to intimate that someone is female? I don't understand that. You said that twice now, as if that is some pejorative saying that someone is female. Okay, stop that. Okay, stop it.
I can be a little girly boy though.
I mean, this is
okay. So I'm pretty sure you. I mean, how old are you, John? Are you like 65?
What does my age have to do?
Does that?
No. Just answer the question.
I'm in my mid 50s.
Mid 50s. Okay. So as a grown man, I'm pretty sure you understand the context that is being presented in relation to the overall conversation we've been having. and the point that Raging Ronnie and I both obviously understood about the
Well, so here's the thing:
is it that time of the month for him? So if you don't get that, why don't you stay out of it and let the two men have a conversation?
Okay, so if you want, can I say something? I need to say something that's really important here.
Let me respond to what he just said. Okay. Okay. Look. First of all, my age has nothing to do with it. Secondly, when you use female traits as a pejorative, that is misogyny. Okay. And if you don't see the problem with that, I can't help you.
And you're sitting here saying that you don't disrespect me. You're sitting here saying that you don't call these names. When you use my Christian name, right? Maybe you don't know the context. Maybe you don't understand why I don't like people using my name, Ronnie. Because you're being fucking disrespectful as fuck every time you do it. But here's the reason.
Okay, am I still on mute? Because I didn't know that. All I knew that was your name, dude. Like
Cupcake.
If you call me John versus LLP, like I wouldn't have a problem. I didn't know that Ronnie was a problem.
Well, Smokey knows. So
I'm not fucking telepathic, bro. Now that you've told me, if you don't want me to call you Ronnie, I won't call you Ronnie. Okay, let's not turn this into another.
Can I explain to you, please?
Get all worked up, shit.
Can I explain to you? I'm not getting worked up. I'm trying to explain to you. Right. All right. I have received death threats. I have received death threats on my child. I have been doxxed. I do not like people using my Christian name. That's why I use Nakasuchi. You can read it on my screen. It is my Native American name. It means little bear. That's why I use that name. Now, I understand that you probably didn't know that, right? But you do know that I don't like it. You do know that because you have used it in that context.
No, I didn't know that you did not want your actual first name to use.
No, I call myself Ronnie? Do I call myself Ronnie?
Dude, how many people have screen name usernames?
Don't fucking sit here and lie to me, dude. You're supposed to be a Christian.
I'm not lying, bro. Okay, do people call me?
I mean, this is.
All right, check it out. You're both muted again. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna call an end to this. Scott already said he has to get out of here. John said he has to be up in like 3 hours. So we're gonna end this here. And I'm gonna unmute the two of you, and then I'm gonna go to John Maddox first to give his closing thoughts and tell anybody in the audience if he has anything coming up on his channel or somebody else's channel. He can let everybody know that. Go ahead, John.
Well, obviously, Nadasuchi, I don't know how to pronounce that. I apologize for using your name. I didn't know that. I swear to you, I didn't know that. I'm sorry that it's getting you all worked up and you're acting juvenile because you think that I would actually do that. I don't know. I didn't know that. I won't say it again. Okay. But given the fact that we live in the online era where people have both real names and screen names and they're used interchangeably all the time, like tonight, I've been called LLP or LPP, John Maddox, different things. I mean, I don't think about that in the context of it being an insult for somebody who uses both my first name and an acronym or a combination of my screen name. Like that did not cross my mind. I apologize if it did, but you need to calm the fuck down, bro. I'm not trying to insult you. Okay. Let's act like adults here. I didn't know that. Okay. I apologize. I won't do it again.
All right, well, I accept that. You have to understand that from the context that I've seen, you did use it intentionally. But I will totally accept that because
dude, you were calling me Mad. You were calling me Mad Ducks. I was coming up with a response. Like you came up with a nickname for me, and I responded.
I get that, and
so you start shit. I counter shit. That's the way I roll. Like that's how things usually go down, right?
Too. I mean,
okay, so let's call truce. Let's call truce. Let's have the old man shut up and let the two guys that are actually here to talk.
I'm sorry.
You're muted again. Okay, Chris, Scott, go ahead and give your final thoughts and let us know if you have anything coming up. I realize you have to leave, and this has devolved into a shit show. Go ahead, Scott.
Oh no, I was just saying, that we should. They seem to agree with one another that LPP recognizes where Nakasuchi's coming from. Nakasuchi accepts LPP's apology. We can move on.
Yeah,
I'm good. All right. So my main issues are with Smokey Saint. I wish that Smokey would come and talk to me. I feel like I was responding to you, John. You feel like you was responding to me. It seems like our wires have gotten crossed up. So I will sit here and I will apologize for the derogatory things that I've said, and I've said a few, and I will do that. I will man up to that, and I am fully willing to squash whatever little beef that me and you have. I do respect the fact that you came here to talk to me. I wish that other people would. So that's my final closing statement on this.
Okay.
I would like to have a more in-depth conversation about ancient Israel and why I feel the way I do about ancient Israel. That would be up to you. I know me and Scott are talking about doing that because I feel like Scott could really educate me and maybe fill in some things where I'm wrong on ancient Israel. I didn't find the part about the 12-year one day, Scott, because I got involved with John again. I will find that for you and send that context to you.
All good.
All right. So I'm going to unmute you now here, John Maddox. So this is where you get a chance to give your final thoughts and tell us anything you want anybody to know about your channel and all that. So don't start with the insults as soon as I unmute you. Just take the opportunity to give your closing thoughts. Let us know what you want folks to know about your channel. Go ahead. You're unmuted.
All right. So, dude, how do you pronounce your screen name, dude?
Nakasuchi.
Okay, Nakasuchi.
You can just call me Nak. It's easier. I do understand. White people don't understand the American names or Native American names.
Nak. So if you and Smokey would have a conversation, we'll do it on my channel. In those contexts, I would do timed responses, mute the other one during the timed response, and
I would be willing to do that.
Let you guys reply back and forth, because I think as exemplified tonight, unless there is opportunity to like finish thoughts and they don't get interrupted by rude people, they gets heated. So if you guys want to do that, I'm happy to offer my services. Like I said, we'll set up formal structure of timed responses and such. They can make it more streamlined. I'm
totally willing to do that. Yeah. If Smokey will do it, I'm there.
Cool. Well, I'll talk to him about it, see if we can get all this stuff resolved. In terms of my channel, the Logical, Plausible, Probable, just search that. It's all about discussing aspects of our existence from a scientific perspective and looking into different aspects of discoveries, quantum mechanics, physics, genetics, biology in general, and how all that stuff led me to the conclusion that it is a more rational conclusion that God exists and that we are not here through undirected processes. Do a lot of after shows and occasional videos, and I've got some interviews coming up with some pretty famous folks, and we're going to discuss some of the more detailed portions of abiogenesis, chemistry, and genetics. So go and check it out. I'm not always a jerk like I was tonight. This is more of a it's a rarity for me.
Sure you are. You're a jerk all the time, buddy. Hey, let me
only to assholes like you, bro.
Well, that's okay. I'll own that asshole label. Hey, and you don't think evolution is valid, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
So what do you think about?
But you're into science. Hey, hold on, Scott. Do you have any final thoughts?
Well, thanks for inviting me to participate. It was an interesting conversation. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, and I kind of feel like I got to go kind of clean some of the mud that got flung on both sides off me before I went to bed. But I appreciate the invitation. I'm always happy to show up when there's a conversation to be had.
Well, I thank you for being so gracious, because I feel like a schmuck inviting you to this, but I think it didn't devolve as much as it could have because of your presence, Scott. So I thank you so much for taking part in this.
Thanks.
And we will get all of Scott's information in the description. We're going to get John Maddox's information in the description. And I do urge you, go over and check out John's channel. I have done that, and he does have some interesting videos over there. And I just want to show this one thing. Sunday at 11 a.m. here on The Rage will be the next episode of the Apostate Alliance. And we're doing round 2 with ex-Scientologist Scott. Help me out.
Chris Shelton.
Chris Shelton, and tune into that to see Faye's reactions to, like last time. She was just so amazed at all this stuff.
And I do believe that Chris is going to hang out for an after show so people can come in and ask him questions.
Yeah. And what we're going to do is because Chris is not on Discord and says he can't get the hang of it, what we'll do is when we end the stream, we will make the StreamYard link available to the audience, and anybody that wants to pop in after we're done recording can pop into StreamYard and ask Chris any questions that you might have. So I'm going to throw it over to Knock to close it out, and thank you.
I do want to thank Scott for coming. I want to thank John for being here. I think that it's obvious that this conversation did need a moderator. I think that I could have. My plan was to keep my cool, and I did. I do feel like I lost my cool when you used that name, and I do apologize for that, John. If you're not familiar with the whole Matt Powell situation, then you would probably have no way to know why I don't like people using that name. And it doesn't apply to everybody. Like if you're my friend, like that Christian vlogger, he uses that name because I told him he could, because I have respect for him. But yeah, I totally apologize for losing my cool over that instance. Outside of that, some of the times I lost my cool, I wasn't really like, I thought it was funny. I do appreciate that you did come here, that you didn't run away from it. You came and you addressed the issues, which I think the main issue outside of the petty name calling that both of us did was over the abortion issue. I'm not sure that we made much ground, but I think hopefully you understand my position on abortion a little better. And my position is nuanced. I'm a progressive, and I'm for I'm for individual freedom, and I believe that a woman should have a choice. But it's a hard conversation to have in any context. So I do appreciate you coming here and at least giving me your time. And I really hope that, at least with you, that maybe moving forward, it could be a better, more, less aggressive relationship. Because again, my main beef is with Smokey, and you just kind of became a part of it due to your association. So I will sit here and apologize for some of those derogatory comments, the Maddox and all of that shit. Yeah, I appreciate you coming here. I believe after the after show on Sunday, I will be having CJ Cox to come on, and we will be discussing some of my criticisms of his debate with Smokey, and of him during that debate. And I expect that will be a much more pleasant conversation. But again, I do think that this was important because I think that maybe hopefully at least you will understand a little bit about where I'm coming from. I don't expect you to take my side in it or to go against your boy or not, but maybe just have an understanding of why I became so upset. And it's mainly because of the anti-Semitic and racist comments or being accused of those. When I go out of my way to fight for those issues. So I do want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank everybody in the chat for biting with it. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and watch it, and hopefully it wasn't too crazy, but I'm sure it was. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, John. Thank you, Logical, Plausible, Probable. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you soon.